Hello, friends. How are you? Friends, all of you are heartily welcome to our channel Sen Quotes. You'll lose it if you talk about it. The more you try to be everything to everyone, the more you become nothing to yourself. The more you spend clinging to the past, the less likely your future will be any brighter. There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let it be you. If you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals. A man who fears rejection is a man who has already rejected himself. Life is like an elevator on your way up. Sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. The moment you stop seeking validation from others is the moment you find true confidence. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. You can only change when your mind is stronger than your emotions. A toxic environment is more likely to change you than you change music. People will disappoint you, so never put all your trust in anyone. Even if you are on the right track, you'll get run over. If you just sit there, don't lose yourself by tolerating too much from the people you want to keep. You must discipline yourself carefully. You must keep the promises you make to yourself and reward yourself so that you can trust and motivate yourself. People give you advice based on their perspective. You cannot be everywhere and have everything. Learn to make the right choices and commit to things that matter most. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The greatest danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Keep your distance from people who will never admit they are wrong and always try to make you feel like it's all your fault. There's no shame in saying, I don't know. Nobody has all the answers. Pretending to be perfect doesn't make you perfect. You learn a lot about people when they don't get what they want. If you can't say no, then your yes means nothing. True success doesn't depend on seeking validation from others. It stems from seizing opportunities, proving what you're capable of, and accomplishing your goals despite challenges. Not everything in your brain needs to come out of your mouth. The short-term pain of accepting the truth is much better than the long-term pain of believing an illusion. Nothing is scarier than avoiding your full potential. If you do not make yourself indispensable, you will be unemployed soon. Don't hang on to your mistakes just because you spend a lot of time making them fix your body before you fix anything else. Having a weak body is a reflection of your broken mind. True happiness comes from aligning your actions with your values, not from external approval. Never hurt others to heal yourself. Never hurt yourself to heal others. When your intentions are pure, you don't lose people, they lose you. Life has a way of working out. Even when it seems impossible, you cannot have everything. You always exchange something for something. You only get one body. Take care of it. You'll have it all your life. And while it is incredibly resilient, it can only give you what you put in life. It's important to know when to stop arguing with people and simply let them be wrong. You are not rejected. You are redirected to something better when you stop trying to please everyone. You begin to understand who truly values you for who you are not for what you can do for them. If you find someone smarter than you, work with them. Do not compete. Avoid people who use their pain as an excuse to hurt you. You grow as much as the amount of truth you're willing to accept about yourself without running away. If you never heal from what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. The quickest way to acquire self-confidence is to do exactly what you are afraid to do when people treat you like they don't care. Believe them when you build in silence. No one knows where to attack. If you know how quickly people forget the dead, you will stop living to impress people. Never take advice from someone who isn't where you want to be. Comfort is the worst addiction and a cheap ticket to depression. People will start hating you when they cannot control you. You are allowed to change the price of access to you. The chief trick to making good mistakes is not to hide them, especially not from yourself. No one sees how much you do for them. They only see what you don't do. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just have to find the ones worth suffering for. You can start your life over anytime you want. You can start being the person you actually want to be today. Right now, you will never be 100% sure about a decision, but always make a decision, because it's better to go back and fix it than to never make it at all. Life gives you lots of chances to screw up, which means you have just as many chances to get it right. Don't be angry with people who don't have the capacity to change. Recognizing that you are not where you want to be is a starting point to begin changing your life. The quickest way to improve your life is to stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. You define yourself to others by the behavior that you tolerate. The people who ask the most from you are the people who do the least for you. Accepting your flaws is not about resignation, but about finding the courage to improve. You can't be happy with someone else. If you aren't happy with yourself, your wound is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Hope is not a strategy. You can't learn to drive in a parked car to make progress. You need to get behind the wheel and start moving. Even if the road ahead is uncertain, growth is uncomfortable because you've never been here before. Hiding from your problems won't make them disappear. Facing them is the only way to grow. Never tell your problems to anyone, because 80% don't care and 20% are glad you have them. Numbing the pain for a while will make it worse when you finally feel it. Your growth depends on your willingness to keep learning, even when it's boring. Sometimes you have to forget what you want and remember what your music deserves if it's out of your hands. Let it out of your mind too. The life in front of you is far more important than the life behind you. On a day when you don't come across any problems, you can be sure that you are traveling in the wrong path. Ignoring red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you. Later you learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. Be careful who you let in your life. People will come and drain the shift out of you, then leave and blame everything on you. The moment you realize that your past mistakes are not chains but lessons, you can begin to craft a future that isn't dictated by your regrets. Mistakes won't hold you back. Not learning from them will. Patience is when you're supposed to be mad, but you choose to understand worrying about something isn't going to change the outcome. It's only going to waste time and energy that could be better used somewhere. Music else just because the boat rocks doesn't mean it's time to jump overboard. True growth is rarely accompanied by joy and celebration. First, you choose a partner on the basis of their looks and enjoy. Until you realize that your kids will not be raised by their looks but by their values. Who you are becoming is more important than who you've been. Don't be afraid to go it alone. The road to success is rarely crowded. The second you feel like you are hanging on by a thread, let go. You shouldn't be holding on to something that makes you feel that way in the first place. Going back to your ex is like having a shower and putting dirty underwear back on. Train yourself to take nothing personally to save yourself from 99% of mental problems. It's normal to feel bad after making the right decision. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an option. Every time you lie, you are creating problems that you will have to deal with in the future. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. If you only blame your problems on someone else, don't expect your life to get better. Pain only leaves you when it teaches you something. Don't spend your life dreaming about what you could have been in another place or under different circumstances. Instead, invest your energy in what is right in front of you. Every second you spend comparing your life to someone else's is a second spent wasting yours. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who to seek it from. We spend our first half learning what not to do, and the second half wishing we did more of it. You're never ready for what you have to do. You just do it. That makes you ready. Stop expecting others to give you more respect than the respect you give yourself. Sometimes the hardest part of the journey is simply believing you're worthy of the destination. The secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Never let yourself become completely dependent on anyone. Always be able to support yourself financially, mentally, and physically. Stop being so available to people who are only there for you when it's convenient for them. It's not the load that breaks you down, but how you carry it. Dreams come in sizes that are too big so we can grow into them. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we didn't think we needed to know. Being true to yourself may lead to loneliness, but it's worth it. The energy we spend to complain can be redirected to act for change. When we take responsibility, we get out of the victim mode and move on. What you want requires consistency and discipline. Don't blame people for disappointing you. Blame yourself for expecting too much from them. Luck comes to those who work hard. Good things do not come to those who wait. There can be no progress, no achievement without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be in the measure that he sacrifices. You are the only person you can control unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered. You will never grow. The easiest way to destroy your self-confidence is to constantly break the promises you make to yourself. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and what they have planned for you is not much. Don't do anything you feel you'd have to lie about later. Say no to your desire to be perfect, otherwise you won't be able to improve further. Choosing comfort over discomfort does not lead to a comfortable life. Share your progress, not your goals, and you'll always be motivated. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. The highest reward for one's toil is not what one gets for it, but what one becomes by it. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. You will have to make very practical decisions about what you want from life and what you're willing to give up. And if you don't make them, then life will make them for you. Overthinking ruins you. It ruins the situation, twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and makes everything much worse than it actually is. If you stay too long in a bad situation, you'll forget it's bad and get comfortable, while the best years of your life just pass you by. So friends, how did you like our video? If you like this video, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And friends, if you have any question, then please tell me in the comment box.